Alright, so we're moving on. So JavaScript and implicit type coercion. What does that mean? So when most JavaScript operators encounter an invalid type, they attempt to convert the value to a valid type. This process of implicitly converting a type is called implicit type coercion. So this is an example. Let's actually give this a try. So if I do that on our JS bin, let num1 equals 9 times the string 3. And then we're going to console.log that, console.log num1. Okay, and run this guy. 27. And this is actually a number times a string. It implicitly converts the string into a number and multiplies it. And on this case, it produced the right result, right? So, but if we try the second one, 9 plus 3, right? So if we change the operator to plus, and we clear this guy and run again, 93, which is incorrect. 9 plus 3 should be 12, right? But it's actually, because this is a string, this plus is actually concatenating 9. It converts this one and it adds it as concatenation. So combining it like side by side, 93. So that can be dangerous when you're coding, right? So with that, we should not use implicit type coercion. And this is another example which can be confusing. So if you try to understand it, it's just going to be confusing. You're going to be scratching and pulling your hair out. So why did that do that? Why did that do that? Right? It's just confusing. So the safe way to compare values on your JavaScript codes is using this triple equal or exclamation point equal or not equal. Okay, so let's, for example, I'm going to clear this out. Clear. Let's define a x variable equals 3. Okay, and y variable equals 9. And let's console.log that. Console.log type of x. Console.log type of y. And run this guy. Actually, this is one word, and run that. So as you can see, x is a string because it's inside a quote, y is a number, right? So if I change this to a 3, and then I want to know console.log is x equal y. Now when we do equal, it will not consider the data type. One is a string, one is a number, right? But if you do equal, it will be true. It's a true. Now if you do triple equal, it also check the data type has to be the same. This will be false. If I run, let's clear this first and run. See, it's false. So that's why it is safer to do comparison on our code using the triple equal or exclamation or not equal. So we're just touching the foundation here. So as we go forward and start to actually code, you will see how we can implement this. All right. And next is truthy and falsy. So when an expression expects a Boolean value, a Boolean is true or false, right? A Boolean is either true or false. The following values always treated as false. False is false. 0 is always false. Blank, like an empty string, is also false. No is false. Undefined is false. Not a number is false. So that's how we can use this truthy and falsy one. So for example, like this one here. Okay. So let's make another one. I'm going to clear this out and clear. Let's make a variable. Let my bike equals Jimmy's bike, right? If my bike console.log Jimmy has a bike. So this checks if my bike has a value, right? If it does, it's gonna console Jimmy has a bike. If it doesn't have a value, we're gonna console.log my bike is not yet set, and then plus my bike. Okay, so if I let's run this first. So my bike, Jimmy's bike. I'm gonna run this. Jimmy has a bike because my bike has a value, right? So it's true. This is true. If my bike, it's true. Got it? So if I change this to a blank, it will be a false, right? A blank is like this. It's a blank or null. It will be a false. I'm going to run this guy now. My bike is not yet set. So I'm going to just clear that so you're not confused. My bike is not yet set. Same thing if I put it as a null. I'm going to clear that and run again. My bike is not yet set, right? And so on. If it's undefined or 0, it still is not yet set. So that's how truthy and falsy works in JavaScript. Now, this is important. This is important. This is important, and this is tricky. JavaScript used a lot of this. You will notice it as you code, and if you use JavaScript libraries such as jQuery and other frameworks, there's a bunch of this keyword when you're going through the code. Now it's tricky. This module has an entire section about how to use the this pointer. So we will discuss about this separately. So it has well-defined rules, but what this points to can change even within the same function. For instance, in an Apex class, this is a regular Apex class. You see this, right? So in this example, Apex class, this only ever refers to the current instance of my Apex class. The current instance of the my Apex class when you instantiate it. In JavaScript, this points to is not determined by where a function is defined, but rather where that function is called. Okay, it's going to be actually interesting. We'll go through this through the example codes later on. But yeah, this is a fun this is a fun JavaScript feature. All right. And lastly, important, in JavaScript, everything is an object. You know, JSON, JavaScript object notation. So JSON is being used all over the internet. Even when you're coding with other languages, we usually pass along data in JSON format nowadays. Or we can also use XML, but nowadays everything is in JSON, JavaScript object notation. Okay, we'll talk about that in depth later. So in JavaScript, everything is an object. This goes for a function too. And like other objects, function can be assigned to variables. So function can be assigned to variables passed into parameters of other functions. So it can be really, really interesting and used the same way you can any other object. We'll code along later, okay, on other modules. I'm pretty sure we're gonna cover that up. So that's it for now. You have a good basic introduction, like really basic. It's not even basic, it's just to a glance, so to speak, right? Introduction to JavaScript concept. Next, we look at how JavaScript works in the browser on the next module. Before we go there, let's do the quiz. What is the core architecture of the JavaScript engine? It is single-threaded. Under what circumstance is it acceptable to use implicit type coercion? Like this one. This is implicit, right? So when to test false or true variable value in an end conditional expression. That's it. Bada bing, bada boom. Hit that subscribe button and explore new trailhead grounds and learn to implement the most useful and popular apps on the Salesforce App Exchange. And do yourself a favor, like this video, and you'll be surprised on how much more you understand when watching this same video after liking it. Don't take my word. Watch this one more time after you like the video and see it for yourself. Bada bing, bada boom.